it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Welcome to Wrestle Hunks Weekly. I'm Brady Price, and as always, I'm joined by Mr. Monopoly himself, Nathan Marler.
No, it's not me, but it's definitely you. You're my Monopoly nemesis.
Some heated rivalry going on in our local Monopoly games.
I still think you're cheating, mate, but that's okay.
Those dice, I make them sing. So busy week in wrestling. A lot of news to cover, and we'll start off with obviously the big takeover show that happened this past weekend. We've still got Super Showdown and New Japan's Dominion show happening this weekend, so plenty to talk about. Like I said, we'll start off with Takeover that happened last weekend. We'll get straight into the first match, which was Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. Matt Riddle getting the win to open up the show. What did you think of this match, Nat?
Well, if the main event didn't exist, I'm going to say that this was the best match of the night. No match on the show was bad, but I really enjoyed the hard-hitting style of this match and definitely didn't disappoint to open up the night.
Yeah, it was a bit of a sleeper match because I know like a lot of people were looking forward to Cole versus Gargano 2 and the women's title and the ladder match. Like these were all pretty big matches that you could tell were going to be great. And I mean, even just looking at it, you could tell this was going to be a good match, but no one really talked about it going in. And I'm kind of glad it went on first. It avoided sort of following the ladder match. You didn't want the crowd to be exhausted, and it got the crowd hyped to start the show. It was very hard hitting, and these two put in a pretty good performance. Did we both have Matt Riddle to win?
I mean, I got every pick right, so I don't know. Don't know what you had, but I got everything.
Yeah, I think I had Matt Riddle, but it sort of made sense. I think to keep Riddle strong, he might be one of the guys to sort of face Cole or whoever it is.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar in the main event. The second match of the night was the Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag Team titles. Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, the Forgotten Sons, Undisputed Era, and the eventual winners, the Street Profits, were all involved. A pretty good match. Now, what did you think of the ladder match?
Yeah, it was really good. A brutal ladder match. Kyle O'Reilly's back. It didn't look like a back. It looked like a piece of meat. He got brutalized into those ladders. Everyone put in a really good effort, and I liked the story they had. It just made sense because the Forgotten Sons obviously have one more man. It's not like he's wrestling, so he might as well just come to the ring. Yeah. Then it was like the story of everyone, they've got an extra man, take him out. And the Street Profits, out of nowhere, the spear from old mate, what's his name? Angelo Dawkins. Yeah. And then Montez Ford springboard onto the ladder, amazing. Loved it. Loved the they didn't do it over the top. It was just a simple punch, off balance, grab the titles. We all celebrate and hold our red solo cups up to the sky.
Yeah, I'm very happy that they won. I wasn't sure whether they were going to put the titles on them. We've seen in the past when there's babyface tag teams in NXT, maybe they don't necessarily put the titles on them because they don't really need it. But good reward for effort for the Street Profits, who have been a very entertaining tag team for the last however many years they've been in NXT, 1 or 2.
Yeah, have to agree.
So the next match was Tyler Breeze's return to NXT. He challenged for the NXT North American title against the Velveteen Dream. What did you think of Velveteen retaining against Tyler Breeze?
Once again, a great match. It was the right decision to have Velveteen win. I mean, Tyler Breeze just coming back to NXT. You're not really just going to hand him a belt straight away. Got to make him earn it. He's so it's announced he is back in NXT full time. So that'll be interesting. What happens going forward? What do you think of the gear on both guys?
I know you didn't like Breeze's gear, like when he brought out like the fur-covered kick pads, but in the all black, I didn't hate it as much. I thought it was better. I still prefer like the old gear that he had, but
yeah, it wasn't bad in black. It wasn't bad. Dream's gear was amazing as always. I loved his entrance. He got in the ring and he started just rolling on the floor. It was just that chain he was wearing was amazing. it was just great, and it was great to see Velveteen retain. He's having a great reign.
And what did you think of the selfie post match?
Amazing, iconic. That is one to save and keep for the years to come.
No, I'd have to agree. Another good match. I'm happy with the crowd though. The crowd was hot for this entire show all throughout. So
I'm glad.
And it's just good to see Breeze back doing what he's good at, and
that's wrestling.
Yeah, he actually gets used well, and he gets booked in actual wrestling matches, which is nice on NXT. So it's good to see. The next match was for the NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler retaining against Io Shirai. A little disappointed that Io didn't win the title, but what did you think of the match?
I thought it was good, and I wanted Shayna to win because I don't think Io's quite there yet. I didn't think the story was in place, and I feel like what this match did, it made Io's character progress even further along, and she's a crazy son of a bitch who can swing that kendo stick around. And yeah, I can see where everyone's like, it's a bit stale, Shayna's reign, but her just losing the title out of nowhere, it's not really going to do anything for her. I feel like she's the type of wrestler that's going to like kind of remain undefeated. Not undefeated, but she will go into the main roster looking really strong.
Yeah, I mean, I was more invested in this match than I thought I was going to be. I really wanted Io to win. I don't know who the babyface is that finally beat Shayna, because we thought it was Belair.
I think it's Candice LeRae.
Yeah, I think it could be. I enjoyed the post-match beatdown. You sort of mentioned it. Io Shirai sort of just laid in some shots with the kendo stick onto Baszler, and then hit a moonsault with a steel chair, which was very impressive from Io, and I don't know, it just shows a different side of her, which is cool.
Just the extreme side. I saw online. Someone actually made. Have you seen the old Sandman shirt? It's white and it's got him with the Singapore cane on it.
Oh yeah, vaguely. I remember that.
Yeah, someone, this guy's stash pages, he made an edit of it, and it's Io Shirai, and he sold them, and they sold out like in an hour.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's good character development. We're seeing a different side of Io Shirai, so that's good. And Shayna continues her reign of dominance. But the main event, what can you say? An amazing match again between these two, which is in the shock. Adam Cole defeats Johnny Gargano and becomes the new NXT champion. What did you think, Nat?
Absolute classic. Better than the 2 out of 3 falls match, I think. And geez, it's just a plain old singles match, and they've done very well. I'm assuming we're going to get a third one out of this. I'm assuming, would that be right?
I don't know if they've done any tapings yet. I assume they're doing them probably next week.
Next week, yeah.
But that'll lead into the Takeover SummerSlam weekend, so I think that might be the main event.
Yeah, I'd assume they do another one. Maybe there'll be a gimmick behind it just to extend it a little bit further. But geez, Adam Cole, that was amazing. Really, I just chose him to win basically just because we love Adam Cole. But just through this match, the story was just it was just a great moment for him. I said before this, Johnny might drop it because he does have a knee injury. So I don't know if that's a factor in it at all, but I definitely didn't look it during the match because he put on a great performance.
I think I have to agree with you that this was, I mean, their one at WrestleMania weekend was incredible. This one definitely could have topped it. It was awesome to see, and no Undisputed Era run in, which, it just shows that,
kept it fair.
Yeah, and it makes Cole look even stronger winning the title.
Because he didn't need Undisputed Era to win the first fall.
Exactly. So, awesome match. I can't speak highly enough of this one. If you want to go out of your way to check it out, I would recommend it. It's a very, very good match.
I agree.
So the question I had was, here is match of the night. You sort of mentioned a couple already. What do you think the best match of the night was?
It's going to be the main event, but just a sleeper is Matt Riddle, Roddy Strong, I think. And for a great moment, you're going to go to the Street Profits match too.
Yeah, I mean, it was just full of great matches and good moments. So
yeah,
I would agree. Cole and Gargano tore it up, but the show had sort of a little bit of everything for you, really. An instant, like a 30-minute classic in the main event, hard-hitting opener, a brutal ladder match, some great storytelling, and in the Velveteen match and the women's match, they tore the house down as well. So
Yeah.
what are your overall thoughts on the show?
Just another absolute banger. I think it just, geez, I'm so much more hyped for these takeovers compared to a WWE pay-per-view these days.
Yeah, I completely agree. You can't really fault the show in any area. I have here, like, this takeover was separate from a WWE pay-per-view. I think I mentioned last week it was the last time they did this, and it wasn't at Full Sail. It was the only one time it was in London. Do you think what differences did it add to the takeover not being on the weekend of a pay-per-view?
I think it benefited from it because it just had its own feel. Like it was its own show. It meant more. Like it didn't feel like a WWE branded show, if that makes any sense. The lighting was different. The entrance was just basic. It seemed more indie, and I feel like the crowd's there purely for Takeover. It's not like they're in the area for the SummerSlam weekend. So it's like, oh, we'll just go to NXT, like which you'll always get, which is fine. But I feel like this was just pure an NXT crowd. The crowd was behind every single match, and when a crowd's into a match, you're going to be into a match when you're at home watching. And I don't know, it felt great. It was it felt like NXT. Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. The crowd was awesome, and when you have a crowd like that, it just gets you invested even more when you're watching. So
yeah,
they did a great job. So that's our NXT. We'll wrap up there. We'll go through Raw and SmackDown quickly to see if there's anything that happened of note. There's not really a whole lot. What have we got here? McIntyre and the Revival defeated Roman Reigns and the Usos in a 6-man. Rey Mysterio relinquishing the US title, but he relinquished it to Samoa Joe. Did you find this weird?
Weird. Yeah. There's no other word. It's weird.
I mean, you could have had like one of the McMahons like hand it to him because he didn't lose, but Ray just giving it to him seems strange.
Seems weak.
Yeah. What have we got here? Brock was there, but he didn't cash in. He said he was going to, but he didn't. That was another strange thing, I think.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse. I think that's something
that was good though. The Wyatt Gym.
It continues to be one of the only good things about the weekly TV that WWE put on, and he did the Muscle Man dance, which was good to see.
I'm gonna do the Muscle Man dance in life. Really get me fit.
We saw Randy Orton and Triple H. Their face-to-face was extremely boring until Randy Orton asked Triple H to retrieve his balls from Stephanie's purse, and then they laughed. So I don't know. That's a thing. Do you care about this little interaction between Orton and Triple H?
No. I watched it online, and they were laughing during it. Like, I don't know if that was on purpose, but they were genuinely laughing during it, and I was like, oh, this is a bit like they're just taking the piss out of it. Like, oh, we have to do this match.
They're probably laughing at how much money they're getting paid to work a house show match in a different country.
Exactly.
Ricochet defeated Cesaro in their third match, the rubber match, which was great. They did some more awesome stuff in ring that these two were just proving how much chemistry they have in the ring. Did you see much of Ricochet and Cesaro?
No, I didn't see it. All I saw was the R-Truth table spot.
Which is another thing we should mention, that R-Truth is...
So why was there a table in this match?
I think Cesaro just brought it out at the end of the match for no reason. I think it was
just cause.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
I've seen interesting some tweets of like when you and your friend try to recreate Aleister Black's entrance at Access. The gif of that.
Okay, that's funny.
And then the main event, we saw the main event segment was The Undertaker addressing Goldberg, and he said that you're next, which was cool, I suppose. Over on SmackDown, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, they continue their war of words. Are you getting hyped for this title match?
No.
Oh, what else we got? Bayley appeared on A Moment of Bliss, and then it set up a triple threat for the number one contender spot against Bayley at Stomping Ground for the women's title, which was won by Alexa Bliss, who is on Raw. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Of course it does.
Elias defeated R-Truth in a lumberjack match for the 24/7 title, and then lost it back to R-Truth underneath the ring. There's exclusive footage on WWE's YouTube. If you haven't seen that, that was interesting as well. What are your thoughts with the 24/7 title? We're sort of like a month in or so of it being around. What do you think?
It's different. It's not like I don't hate it. I'll be real. I don't know. It's hard to say. It is pretty early, but R-Truth holding it is very funny. But I feel like there needs to be. I don't know. It seems like WWE's not focusing on it as much as fucking Drake Maverick is.
Yeah, Drake Maverick continues to be the star for this, I think.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like more. It seems like the superstars are putting in more effort than the actual company is.
Which, I don't know. It'll probably get over, and then WWE will just kill it because they don't want superstars to get it over.
Exactly right.
Andrade and Finn sort of brawled somewhat before the show, and as I was watching SmackDown, I sort of thought to myself, I haven't seen Finn in weeks. And then he made a run in, so that was cool. I got to see Finn for a little bit. And then at the end of the show, Goldberg and Undertaker came face to face, which was, I think it's kind of cool. Like, this is two guys that are two of the biggest names in wrestling that come face to face. I just wish it hadn't happened in 2019, and it could have happened in 2003 or 4, which would have made more sense, but it is what it is. So that leads us to Super Showdown. We'll get our predictions in for this one. Just announced, I think it was today, because I didn't even have this on my notes until like an hour ago, is the kickoff show. We're going to see the Usos versus the Revival in a tag match. Who do you have winning this one, Nat?
I've gone with the Usos just because, I don't know, I just feel like with their shows, just the babyfaces seem to win all the time.
I have the Revival just because I want them to win, and I don't know, they're paired with Shane McMahon at the moment, which I think, surely they get a win. Like, I think that could help. What do you think of that? Like, if they're with Shane McMahon, does that help them sort of pick up some wins and become like a focus on these shows?
No. No.
Well, I'm going to lock it in that the Revival win.
I'll take the Usos.
So the next match is the 50-man Battle Royal. They are saying that this is the largest in WWE history. I don't have like a list of people that are in the match, so to pick who's going to win this one is going to be interesting.
Shit.
Do you have... it's pretty much all the mid-card guys. I know The Miz is announced. That's pretty much my extent of it.
The Miz is announced. Is there any other mid-carders on? Kevin Owens is going. You know what? Miz is probably a good bet.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the Miz, both of us.
I had the Miz written down because that's the only one I could remember that was in the match. So I'll go with that. As well. That Battle Royal might be a bit of a mess, I think.
Jeez, how are they going to... So they're going to get 50 people for a Battle Royal.
Yeah, the way they were saying it this week on TV was like, how are they going to fit all in that ring? So
it's going to be a bunch of NXT guys as well.
Baba Tunde, second appearance ever.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad at seeing Baba Tunde. He's in fucking good shape.
It should be interesting to see what they do. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
They have to fit in the ring. A 3-on-1 handicap match, Lars Sullivan versus Kalisto, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado, the Lucha House Party. Who do you have winning this one?
I went with Lars Sullivan. I don't know. Don't say the Lucha House Party winning. I feel like this is a Lars Sullivan being angry party.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, they're building up like this unstoppable monster. So to lose one of his first sort of big matches on a big show, I don't think that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Do you have?
Braun.
That sort of just makes sense, doesn't it? He's a babyface.
Yeah.
What match do we have next? The Intercontinental Championship. I think it's the Demon, Finn Balor. I think he's going to be painted up for this one. He defends against Andrade. Who do you have winning this one?
And I went with Finn Balor, but it was very tough because I was thinking, maybe they'll give it to the international guy, Andrade. Not international guy because they both are, but just like a different kind of guy. But then I thought it's Super Showdown. They don't change the titles. So I'm going to go with Finn Balor.
Yeah, that's literally a logic I was using for this as well. Was that I think the last two Saudi shows, the titles have been vacant that have changed hands. Like I think Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt won the Raw Tag titles when on the first show, and then Brock won the Universal title. So they're both vacant both times. So they've never really changed titles. No one's ever lost a title.
Yeah.
So I'll back Finn in. Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon is an actual match that's happening. Do you have the best in the world for this one?
I don't have the best in the world for this one. I have Roman Reigns.
I thought Roman Reigns was the best in the world. That's just my opinion.
Ah, there we go. The real opinion comes out.
I'm with you. Roman's the big dog. He has to win this, surely. It's bad enough that Shane McMahon's been beating the Miz. If he can beat Roman Reigns as well, Jesus, he might never stop wrestling. Triple H versus Randy Orton's a match been billed as 17 years in the making. What are your predictions for this one?
I remember I predicted for the Crown Jewel this wrong. Triple H Cena. I remember I got that wrong, so not very confident that Triple H probably might win again, but I'm going to go with Randy Orton because childhood bias.
Yeah, I was sort of tossing up between these two, but like Randy's the full-time guy. He has to win, right?
Give him a win, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or is it Triple H just going to go, just beat him again? Just beat him.
Randy should win. That's why I'm picking Triple
H. Well, I'll go the Viper.
The WWE Championship is defended. Kofi Kingston against Dolph Ziggler. Do you see the title changing hands?
I do see a title changing hands, but I see it changing hands after this match because Kofi Kingston's going to win and Brock Lesnar's going to cash in.
Really?
Well, he didn't say he's going to go cash in the Universal title.
That would be a cool swerve because, like,
that's what people reckon online.
They've completely ruined it if with Brock just saying he's going to cash in on Friday. So I would like that. I wouldn't like that. I want Kofi to be champion. So I like that. I like that prediction. I'm going with Kofi as well.
Yeah, I've got Kofi.
Seth Rollins is defending the Universal Championship against Baron Corbin. Do you see him retaining this one?
Of course not. No, he definitely is. They definitely will not give Baron Corbin the title.
Yeah, I mean, especially on this show, it just seems out of the blue. I don't think it's happening. There's been no real build to the match. He became number one contender like 2 weeks ago. So
exactly right.
Lock Seth in, and the main event is the dream match that everyone's been waiting for so long that they're both 60 years old now. So
that's how long we've had to wait.
Yeah. Goldberg versus The Undertaker. Who do you have winning this one?
I have Goldberg.
Ooh, really?
Goldberg. Yeah.
You have Goldberg.
I don't know because he's in shape, and I mean Undertaker's kind of still contracted to the company, yeah. So like they're bringing Goldberg in, paying him a lot of money. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Undertaker's mystique's kind of gone. I feel like WWE recognizes that.
Well, that's interesting. I'm going with.
He could probably could take a loss at Super Showdown.
I'm going against my childhood hero, and I'm going to say Undertaker, purely because Vince always likes the WCW guys to lose. So
that's true, but he did give him the world title multiple times,
so that WWE guys could beat him.
Yeah, but Brock wasn't a WWE guy. He was in every.
Well, I don't know. I just have a gut feel.
No, fair enough.
He's got to close out the show strong.
Fair enough.
Avenges his loss from last year's Super Showdown. So that sort of does it for our predictions. We'll see how we go with that. I'm guessing.
How many takeover predictions did you get right?
I had 3.
So what's your tally? I'm on 12.
Yeah, we're now tied at 12.
Hey.
You made up that ground very quickly after the takeover. You just absolutely smashed me in that one. I had the Forgotten Sons in the ladder match and Io Shirai for the women's title, which are the 2 I got wrong. But
Well, it seems like we have some different opinions for Super Showdown, so this could be a few differentiating results there.
I mean, maybe I should change to Bubba Tunde winning the Battle Royal, but
Oh god, fuck the. Might as well not even make a prediction for 50-man Battle Royal.
I feel like there's no chance we get this right. I mean, if the Miz wins, that's huge. So
Yeah.
the Miz on. Are you going to be up? It's 4 a.m. our time, the start of the show. Will you be watching that one live or?
I'll try.
Really?
I mean, I'm gonna have to buy me WWE Network, but
But, yeah.
I don't know. I'll set an alarm for it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I've done that before. So
Depends what start the start with show with.
Lars Sullivan ill.
If it's Lars Sullivan, I'm going back to bed.
So we'll get stuck into your news roundup, Nat.
Alrighty, well, let's just start off with the 24/7 title notes and news. We had the 24/7 title at the golf course, and then he lost it back to R-Truth by roll-up. What do you think of that?
I love Jinder Mahal full gear on a golf course. That's all.
Same with the ref.
Ref in his he's always in his ref clothes.
That's funny. And then we saw on SmackDown, R-Truth lost it to Elias, and then Elias lost it to R-Truth under the ring, and you can kind of see a leg that was the Undertaker's. So that's cool.
Spooky.
Next up, we have Eli Drake announced that he is now officially a free agent after months of his contract talks. The Raw ratings were actually up 10% this week, and love it or not, this is definitely because of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it's probably because they said he was cashing in as well.
Exactly right. So, WWE still knows Brock is a draw, and anyone that says Brock is not a draw, you're a little bit silly because he's still drawing the viewers. We also have some a handful of NXT wrestlers have now got name changes, which always sucks. The Performance Center website is now listing new names for Trevor Lee, Jesse Alaban, Eric Bugenhagen, you're not going to like that, Adrian Jahode, and Luke Menzies. Trevor Lee is now listed as Cameron Grimes. That is as generic as you can get.
How is old Grimy?
Alaban is now Jesse Camara, which is not bad. Jode is now Arturo Ruas. Luke Menzies is now Ridge Holland. And save the best for last. Bugenhagen is now Rick Boogs.
Oh my god.
It's RIKBUGEZ. At least you can spell his last name now, but I don't like it. I like his name.
So they've shortened his first and last name.
Yeah.
He's just gonna
so shit.
He's just going to be Boogs when he gets to the main roster. Oh my god.
Rick Boogs.
That sounds so stupid.
So, it's interesting, but okay. I guess Bugenhagen is more like that's like his name outside WWE. Same with Trevor Lee. Next up, we have Mickey James is to undergo ACL surgery. So the Monday Night MILF for the Tuesday Night Tit MILF. Can come up with one there. She's getting surgery. She was at the Country Music Awards today with Lana. It was weird. It's a weird pairing, but I hope she's having fun if she has to undergo an ACL surgery. It was all but confirmed last week. Impact Wrestling has made Rich Swann versus Johnny Impact official for Slammiversary XVII, and that is for the X Division title. So looking to elevate that X Division championship with some big high-profile names. If anyone ever still watches TNA, Will Ospreay is now the winner of this year's Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And he ended Shingo's undefeated streak this morning. You watched this? What did you think?
Hard-hitting match between these two. Really good. If anyone wants to go and check that one out, they put on a good show, and no surprise, they both tore it up. They both almost killed each other, which was obviously what you want to see when you watch New Japan. So good job from both of them.
I'm glad it was a banger. It was a 30-plus minute match. Ospreay defeated Shingo in the finals. It was at the Super Sumo Hall in Tokyo. I believe Gino Gambino was on commentary. How was that?
It felt weird hearing him on commentary, but
A lot of people, I saw a lot of tweets commending him how good he was.
no, he did well. It's just because I forgot he did commentary for New Japan.
Did
So
commentary, yeah.
when I heard his voice, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Gino's on commentary. Yeah.
And with this win, Ospreay is now going to challenge Dragon Lee at Dominion. Ospreay hit the Oscara from the top rope at the end of the match. He held on, then hit the Stormbreaker to get the win. Ospreay then announced after the match that he's moving to Japan, and I've put in brackets here. This is really bullshit because he's also said this about Australia before, and he didn't move here. So take that with a grain of salt, especially since his girlfriend is working in America now.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Ospreay said he's going to take New Japan Pro Wrestling worldwide as a junior heavyweight, and he wants to face both juniors and heavyweights. And this marks the second time that Ospreay has won the Best of Super Juniors after doing so in 2016. And Dominion's taking place, obviously, at the Osaka-jo Hall in Osaka, where we'll get into in a little bit more detail afterwards. Some interesting news for the Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. It's been reported Natalia and Alexa Bliss have actually traveled there. Pro Wrestling Sheet reporting that they're flying to Saudi Arabia with the hopes that they might get a women's match approved for Friday's event. Pro Wrestling Sheet noted that WWE officials are trying to go back and forth with the Saudi General Sports Authority, trying to get a women's match approved, probably similar to the Abu Dhabi match between Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. Renee Young has also made the trip to Saudi Arabia. I think she made the Crown Jewel trip last time as well.
Yeah, she was on commentary for Crown Jewel, so
yes,
it's not really shocked that Renee's there, but it's very interesting that they're trying to get that match approved. It's hopefully they do.
If they do, that's an actual positive step into doing something rather than they're just going every time for a show. So if they can if they do get that match to happen, I feel like people see this less as a blood show. And finally, some great news we have in his first match for New Japan Pro Wrestling and his first match outside of the United States, and it's just his first match. Jon Moxley has won the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship by defeating CJ Parker Juice Robinson at the Best of Super Juniors finals this morning. Moxley used an elevated double arm DDT known as, what was it called? The Death Reaper or something?
His nickname's the Death Rider. I don't know if
Death Rider, that's what it was called. Yes, the Death Rider, and he used that to win the match after getting Juice Robinson to bury the Dirty Deeds. That was pretty good. So Moxley's your new champion, and a big shock. He was in his nice little wrestling tights. It was weird to look at, but happy for him that he is now creatively free and out in the world doing what he loves.
Yeah, it was an interesting match. Pretty hard hitting, and Juice got some color on just above his left eye. And
do you reckon he did well to the Japanese style?
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what.
Because it's very clear New Japan use Juice Robinson as the measuring stick for other wrestlers now.
Yeah, I mean,
he's very much in that role.
They went at it. I don't know. I can't really fault it in any way. It was a solid match, and I'm happy for Moxley. He got the win, and hopefully.
Was there a table spot in this?
There was a couple. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
What happened? I think he didn't break the first time. Moxley tried to elbow drop a chair through Juice as he was laying on it, and it didn't break. So then he I can't remember what he did. It might have been a powerbomb or something. I can't really remember, but nice. That. And then Juice, I think, put Moxley through one as well. So
nice. So we'll get to the YouTube roundup. Up, down, down with Xavier Wood. Episode 23 of SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. And episode 57 of Battle of the Brands featuring Tyler Breeze at SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. We have a new Being the Elite, episode 155, titled This Episode is Live. I have yet to get to this one. Is it an alright one?
No, I enjoyed the backstage one last week at Double or Nothing, which was a lot of fun and really insightful to see all that stuff.
No job, never a job.
The one positive this week was the opening bit where Nick and Matt both put their fist in like the Shield sort of.
Oh, I saw that on Twitter.
And they cut to Moxley and he doesn't. I thought that was funny, but
It is funny.
the rest, not great.
Well, Sheamus's Celtic Warrior Workouts, episode 80. Well, you may not see him on WWE programming, but he gets a gig on here. It's Eric Young. So that's out of the blue. We'll just go through the channels that don't have videos. Obviously, the man who hates us, Small Joe, Rusev and Lana, Chelsea Green, and Elliot Sexton, or otherwise known as Vink. No episode from all of them.
Even though he promised us an episode before Raw and we didn't get one.
He did. I think he's just delayed it. Maybe he's adding in a veto segment because we requested it on his Instagram.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, maybe rewriting the script.
Exactly. I've decided to add a new channel into this because he's cool. But Eric Bugenhagen, otherwise known as Rick Boogs, check out his channel. He's always posting new videos. Probably posts like a video every 2-3 days of him working out, and he's a big boy. So if you want to support him, go ahead, Rick Boogs. And we have the almighty Demandy's Donuts, episode 39. We're in Texas. We're eating donuts. They're doing things. That's it for this week.
Lovely stuff. So we're just going to quickly talk about Dominion. I don't know the full card. I just had a look before and I couldn't see anything. So there's 4 matches that have been announced. We'll just go through them and give some thoughts and maybe who we want to win. I don't really know what direction they're going to go in creatively, so we won't make predictions for this show, but we'll start off with Taichi versus Tomohiro Ishii, which is for the Never Openweight Championship. What are your thoughts on that? Who do you want to see win this one?
I don't really care, if I'm honest. I mean, it's a Never Openweight title. It's kind of a bit of a joke at this point. But I've said Taichi. So, yeah.
Sort of agree with you. You mentioned Will Ospreay. He won the Best of Super Juniors, which means he's challenging Dragon Lee for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. This match I can pretty well guess that it's going to be a good match. Who do you think will walk out, and who do you want to see win?
Yeah, well, I reckon Dragon Lee wins. I mean, I know Ospreay is going to be hot coming off Best of Super Juniors, but I feel like it's kind of a waste having Dragon Lee go through the other show to win the title just to lose it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Ospreay won because he has this momentum behind him. But I kind of wish they kind of would be like, oh, Ospreay, here's a chance at the heavyweights. It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I don't really care who wins either way. I just know it'll be a good match. So that'll be fun. Kota Ibushi defending the IWGP Intercontinental Championship against Tetsuya Naito. What are your thoughts on this one?
This is going to be a pretty good match. I'm going to say Ibushi just because him with gold looks sexy. Ibushi's a sexy man. Did you see the backstage thing at StarCast to Kenny Omega's interview?
No, I don't think so.
You haven't seen it. It's really emotional. He said he's never actually asked Ibushi to come to AEW.
Oh, really?
He said, knowing how Ibushi is, he would have just said yes. He would have just done it. And it's always been Ibushi's dream to win the heavyweight title. And he feel like he would never, if he came to America, adjusted the lifestyle, he'd never go back to Japan and win the title. So Kenny said, he was like crying. He's like, I never actually have asked him if he wanted to come to this company.
Wow.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me want him to win the world title now.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think Ibushi should win. And you're right. Good looking man. So
Sexy man.
And the main event is
a very unsexy man in the main event.
Kazuchika Okada will defend the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against the Painmaker, Chris Jericho. What are your thoughts?
I guess it's gonna be a good match. I'm not gonna shit on it that much. It's not gonna be shit, but can't say I'm looking too forward to it. I don't see a way Chris Jericho wins this. Okada has to win, surely. I just feel like this is a way to just have an easy challenger for Okada here, because clearly they didn't. I don't know. Clearly they didn't think about Dominion. They didn't have a challenger, so chuck in the guy who's been coming to New Japan, having some pretty good matches there. So in fact, this is just a filler match for New Japan.
Yeah, and also it could get additional eyes on Dominion, which would help. Obviously a big name worldwide.
Yeah, with their American expansion.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be putting the title on Jericho, but you never know. I mean, this man could be the IWGP Heavyweight Champ and the AEW Champ within a...
I mean, who are we to say? Fucking AAA put their title in the Young Bucks, so
That's very true.
they still have them.
So that's Dominion. That happens this Sunday, which you can watch it on Fight as well, which would be...
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's good, but, I mean, don't waste your money. Just get the New Japan World and watch it on that. That's probably smart.
Yeah, just suck up navigating through the Japanese.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I figured it out.
Yeah, it's not that bad, yeah.
So that leads us into this week's top 5. Alright, so this week I've got with Super Showdown not too far away, and the dream match that's happening in the main event. I've got a list of my own dream matches, Nat, and we'll see what you think of these.
Yeah, let's go.
Number 5, I've got Adam Cole versus Christian as a dream match. That's because Adam Cole, I mean, the best wrestler in the world right now, let's be honest. One of my favorite wrestlers to watch, and Christian was always one of my favorites back in the day, so
yeah.
I don't know who, I mean, Christian would probably be the babyface in that situation, I would have thought, but it would work either way. Awesome.
You're telling the story, mate.
Yeah.
You're telling the story.
Number 4, Undertaker versus Sting just makes sense. It's one we've always, I think probably most wrestling fans would want to see, so I've got that one in there. AJ Styles versus CM Punk as well. That could be, I mean, pick CM Punk against like AJ.
Banger.
Now would be insane. Number 2, this is a match that we could definitely get in the coming years, is the Young Bucks versus the Revival.
Yeah, there's so much. Doesn't at this point doesn't even need any build behind it.
Yeah, exactly. The other week we saw the Young Bucks put on an absolute classic with 25 minutes in the ring with one of the best tag teams in the world, and if they were in there with the Revival, I think we'd probably get the same one. You could probably throw the Usos in there instead of the Revival as well. That'd be fun either way. But number 1, I've got Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins.
Oof, I just came. Man.
Yeah, those two men could tear it up no matter what, no matter who they're.
I mean, I have to agree with you. It's just if Eddie Guerrero wasn't dead, that sounds brutal to say. I'd say Kenny Omega versus Eddie Guerrero. If I'm dream of anything, but I think the next best thing, Seth Rollins. I think you're right. That's nail on the head.
Jeez, I didn't think about that. Eddie Guerrero against Kenny Omega would be insane.
They all remind me of the same guy, and that's not a bad thing at all in this case.
That's very true. No Q&A this week, but everyone wants to know what's Lance Storm talking about. And there was a Twitter conversation happening between Jim Cornette, Dave Meltzer, and just random fans talking about how Jim Cornette hates the Young Bucks and hates their matches and whatnot. And some guy tweeted in the conversation, this is just a fan, he said, personally, my problem with the Young Bucks is everything takes too long to set up. Try that in a real fight. Bet you'll be up shit creek. To which Lance Storm said, I prefer rope running in all my street fights. Which is funny.
That's good.
If anyone actually thinks that sees a wrestling match and thinks, oh, that wouldn't work in a real fight, I mean,
yeah. It's, did you see RJ City's tweet?
Who's that?
He's He's a indie wrestler. He did a tag match with David Arquette. They had a big rivalry on indies.
Yeah, I
Do you know him?
remember hearing the name. I didn't see anything happening.
He had an absolute banger of a tweet. Let me find it. It was something about porn.
That porn.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong, I suppose.
Let me.
This is good audio.
There we go. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Probably did it. I've got it though. Okay, so RJ City. He always has some good tweets. So here we go. There's hardcore porn, just like there's hardcore wrestling. But you never heard of technical porn. I really want to see someone work a body part. That's absolute fucking banger.
Oh, that's good content.
That's good. There's always some good wrestlers on Twitter. Hurricane and Lance Storm always stand out.
Yeah, I highly recommend following Hurricane Helms on Twitter if you don't already. I also highly recommend that you follow the Wrestle Hunks Pod on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestle Hunks Pod.
Ooh, dab plug.
And follow, obviously, Nathan, social media influencer, on Twitter and Instagram at Nath Marlowe. I'm at Evil Brody Price.
And on PlayStation as Next Nathan 1.
You can.
And King Price 35 if you want to play Monopoly and Uno.
DM us if you want to play a game of Monopoly. We're in some good form at the moment. Before we go, make sure you wrap up. Before we wrap up, Nat, is there anything you want to say?
Not really. I mean, are you excited for Super Showdown? I think I asked you that.
That's probably a question I should have asked before. I don't really. Finn and Andrade will be fun, I think. I hope the Usos and Revival have a good one. Kofi and Dolph would be cool. And the spectacle of Undertaker and Goldberg in the ring together would be cool, but overall the show is going to be kind of trash, and I'm not too excited about it. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not very excited, but I was excited to see that WWE.com posted an exclusive video of the Iconics backstage.
I mean, you could just have the Iconics on TV every week, and that's just good TV.
Hey, Kyla!
It's just so much. When they freeze because Bailey's walking past, just good stuff.
Act natural. Do you think she saw us? Nah, I think we're good.
That's just they're the best.
Amazing.
The best wrestlers in the world. So yeah, I guess that does it for this week. Find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, all the good podcast services. Like I said, Twitter and Instagram. You know the deal. So make sure you give us a follow. Until next week, stay hunky.